What will George do? I said I'd be good, George thinks. I hoped I'd be good, but I wasn't. What will George do? Let's find out what he actually does in the story. What will he do? To say sorry to Harris and Kat? I'm sorry, George says. I want to give you my favourite toy. Thank you, George, says Harris. Why don't we go out for a nice walk? Walking the dog, it's fun out walking the dog. Looking around at all we see. Go on, George, you have a go at singing it. Walking the dog, it's fun out walking the dog. Oh yeah. Looking around at all we see. Come on, let's go. What can we see when we walk the dog? Come on, George, let's go. What can we see?
Oh, we go.
Walking the dog, it's fun out walking the dog. Looking around at all we see. It's skipping with Lottie. Come on, everyone, it's skipping with Lottie. Skipping with Lottie, it's fun just skipping with Lottie. Skipping around with all our friends. Skipping with Ralphie, come on, we're skipping with Ralphie. Skipping around with all our friends. Skipping with Avery, come on, we're skipping with Avery. Skipping around with all our friends. It's bouncing with Stanley. Bouncing with Stanley, come on, we're bouncing with Stanley. Bouncing around with all our friends. What's next? What can we see? Oh, it's football with Melody. Football with Melody, we're playing football with Melody. Kicking a ball with all our friends. We've been out for our walk and now it's time to draw a map of our walk. Walking the dog, it's fun out walking the dog. Looking around at all we see. Can you remember what we did first? Can you remember? It was George getting ready for his walk. And we're singing the Walking the Dog song. Walking the dog, it's fun out walking the dog. When we were out walking the dog, what happened next? Who did we see? Can you remember? It was Lottie skipping. Skipping with Lottie, it's fun out skipping with Lottie. And what happened next on our walk? Can you remember? It was bouncing with Stanley. Bouncing with Stanley, it's fun out bouncing with Stanley. And can you remember what happened next? It was football with Melody. Football with Melody, we're playing football with Melody. Do you know what the last thing to happen was? What do you think happened last? George, he came home and he was tired. And do you know what he did? He fell fast asleep. Sleep, George, sleep. Sleep, George, sleep. We've been for our fabulous walk and we've come home and we've drawn our story map, telling the story of our walk. Let's see if you can tell the story of your walk using a story map. Like this. We went out with George for a big walk. First, we saw Lottie skipping. After that, we bounced with Stanley. Next, we played football with Melody, and then we came home for a nice sleep. Now it's your turn, reception. Go out for a walk. If you've got a dog, take your dog with you. What can you see? What can you do? When you get home, you can draw a little story map of the things you saw and the things that you did. I can't wait to see your story maps of your walk. Have fun doing your walks and story maps. See you soon. As a final challenge, why don't you write a word for each of your boxes in your story? Walk, skip, bounce, kick, sleep.